Good morning. So we were slight of behind because after the four characteristics were to be discussed and they were left because of time constraint. Okay. So now today we are completing the thing, incomplete thing. Okay. So we discussed the four main characteristics. We discussed the four characteristics of moon. Okay, I write over here. These four characteristics of moon we discussed, which was direction of soul, rotation of soul, okay, charge and character. So we discussed the first four characteristics which are given to a soul because of the moon. It's because of the moon that the soul is trapped over here. The moon is trapping the soul. The sun is actually giving out the soul, or the sun is coming from the darkness to the soul. So either you are pulled towards the sun or you have came from the sun. Okay, that are the two types. But basically what is something that is keeping you over here is moon. Okay. So the basic four characteristics of the soul is given by moon. What does and how are these 8 characteristics important and how are they arranged? We'll talk about it today. So talking about these 4 characteristics. After these 4 characteristics, okay. After these 4 characteristics, we have the 2 characteristics of sun. The 2 characteristics of sun is, one is intensity of soul. Okay, and another is shade of the soul. Now what is intensity? See, there is a minor difference between power and intensity. Power is the energy which is held inside the soul. Power is the energy which is held inside the soul, whereas intensity is the energy from which the soul is working. It is the energy from which the soul is working. Because see, it's like a coal or a wood has a lot of power inside it, but it does not get exhausted within a minute. But why is that so? When you burn wood, it is exhausted into ashes, but when you burn coal, it is even hot and red after it has been exhausted. It is because the intensity of coal is more and the power of wood is more. So just because the wood has a power more, it burns more faster, but the residue is very less. Over here the intensity is more. Okay, we got it reverse. Okay, sorry, we got it reverse. So the intensity is more, that is why it is wood, because it is going to burn faster. And over here in coal the power is more, so it is going to sustain longer. Okay, so what does power give? Power gives you the ability of sustenance. And what does intensity give? It gives the ability of strength. So if you burn a wood, it is going to give a large fire, but coal is not going to give you a large fire. But the heat or warmth of the coal is going to sustain longer, but the heat of the wood is not going to sustain longer. Okay. So just by basic example, I am just personifying and differentiating between intensity and power. Power is the holding capacity, the capability of any substance, of how much capacity it is there. And intensity is how that capacity is utilized. If that capacity is utilized at one go, that means the intensity is very high. If that capacity is not utilized at a go, that means the intensity is very low. Okay, so basically intensity is like acceleration, and power is like horsepower. Okay, if you are talking about consider yourself, your soul as a soul engine. Okay, so talking about an engine, the power at which the engine can function. Okay, the power at which the engine can function is, it's the power, but the resultant effect of that power, that at how much speed, what is the acceleration, okay, what is the output of the power is given by intensity. So similarly there is soul. In our soul the energy is traveling. Soul is nothing but the movement of energy. When the movement of energy stops, we die. Okay, so you are living until the energy is moving inside you. So the next two things are intensity and soul. So how is this intensity known? See, for knowing this intensity, first of all, both are the characteristics of sun. Okay. So knowing the intensity, you must know the hora. Okay, because hora is going to say that what is the capability inside the soul. But we have to compare two things, the ascendant and the hora, the rising sign and the hora. When you compare the rising sign, it gives you like the rising sign is something that is showing you what is rising when you are born. Okay, which sign is rising to the horizon when you are getting born. Okay, and the hora is showing you what is the time at which the rising is taking place. So the time at which the rising is taking place and what is rising explains you everything about the intensity. Simple as that. Okay, so in this we consider two things. First is ascendant, another is degrees. Okay, now consider if the ascendant is even and if ascendant is odd, there would be two possibilities. Okay, now in even ascendant, if the degrees of the ascendant are between 0 degree to 15 degree or between 15 degree to 30 degree. In the odd, similarly 0 degree to 15 degree and 15 degree to 30 degree. Okay. So now you are going to have four kinds of output of intensity. Getting my point? So in these four kinds of output of intensity, this second output, and this first output, this is going to generate a lot of heat. Okay, this is going to generate a lot of threshold. Okay, so over here the intensity is quite high. Okay, and over here the intensity is quite low. Okay, so let's say in ascendant, okay, if your ascendant is even and the degrees of your ascendant is from 0 to 15 degree, then you have a very low intensity. If your ascendant is odd and the degrees are 15 to 30 degree, then again you have a very low intensity. But if your ascendant is even and the degrees are between 15 to 30 degrees, or if your ascendant is odd and the degrees are between 0 degree to 15 degree, your intensity is very high. Okay, so what happens is over here you would have more generation of power. Okay, when the intensity is more, you will generate more power. When the intensity is low, you will generate less power. Okay, so over here your life will be long. Over here your life will be large. See, there is a difference between long and large. Like a large life, I mean to say that you will have a lot of things. In whatever direction your soul wants to go, it is going to go farther. Okay, you will achieve more things. Over here, you might not achieve more things, but you are going to sustain longer. The primary agenda of this is happiness. The primary agenda of this is happiness. So if you are born over this, okay, what you need in life is happiness. You need happiness more than any achievement. Okay, but if you are born over here, what you need in life is achievement. Okay, so these are the another two criteria of what is the desire of the soul. Does the soul need satisfaction and happiness, or does the soul need achievement? Because see, achievement and happiness are two different things. Some people may achieve very large things in life, but they are still not happy in life. Okay, and some people achieve happiness in life, but their materialistic achievement is not like that prominent. Okay, so over here, finally, what does this decide? The intensity of soul is deciding that where actually you are being headed. Okay, what is the primary agenda? Because if you don't have a high intensity, things will not going to be easy. Okay, so another thing the intensity is going to decide is it is going to shape your life. Okay, how is your life shaped? Like in what direction the power is going to be established. Okay, how the power is going to go, that is what intensity is also going to say. So this was about intensity. We will go into much deeper into intensity after we complete all these 8 characteristics. Okay, and we are going to arrange these 8 characteristics on the wheel of Vasu. Okay, you know the wheel of Vasu? The wheel of Vasu with 8 spokes. The wheel of Vasu. Okay, this is the wheel of Vasu. And we are going to arrange all these 8 characteristics of the soul on this wheel of Vasu. Getting my point? Now, let's arrange our characteristics of the moon. The first characteristics was direction. The second characteristics was where is direction? Where is direction? I forgot to make a compass. Okay, we have to make a compass to understand this first of all. Let's make a compass like this. This is direction. Okay, this is direction. This is rotation. Okay, this is charge. This is character. Okay, I will erase this. Okay, this is character, this is charge, this is rotation, and this is direction. Okay, these are the 4 spokes of the moon. After this 4 spoke of the moon, we came to the 2 spokes of the sun, which is intensity and shade. So over here is intensity. And over here is shade. Getting my point? On the two sides over here, on the horizon side over here, there is position, and on the opposite side there is power. Okay. So this is the wheel of Vasu. Okay, this is also something you won't be finding anywhere. You would be finding this in the symbolism of Konark Sun Temple. Okay. The spokes also represents the Kal Chakra, the chakra of time, the chakra of wheel. But why just consider it as a chakra of wheel? It is also the chakra of soul, because it considers the 8 main characteristics of soul, how the soul is going to progress, the progression of the soul. Okay, so the progression of the soul is going to progress like this. It's like the wheel is moving. Okay, so what happens when the wheel is moving? Okay, see, if the wheel is moving ahead, see, this is very focus over here, because this is going to be a bit complicated. If the wheel is moving ahead, okay, this is going to rotate like this. Okay. This is going to rotate like this when the wheel is moving ahead. When the wheel is moving reverse, okay, when the wheel is moving reverse, this is going to rotate reverse. So it starts with the intensity. See, what is in the ground, it is the first thing. Okay, what touches the ground is the first thing. So over here, this is touching on the ground. So this is the first thing that touches the ground. So after the wheel is moving ahead, okay, the second thing that touches the ground is charge. Then third thing that touches the ground is power. Then rotation, then shape, then direction, then position, and then character. Okay. So this is how it is important to know and understand that the movement of the soul. In the first major thing in a soul we need is intensity. But we needed to understand this direction and rotation, charge, character first. But rather, the first thing which is needed is intensity. It is the intensity that decides that how much you are going to progress. Because see, the first movement is caused by force. Okay. And exactly opposite to the force is friction. So the friction is going to decide the shade. What is the opposition? Okay, even if you see in rainbow, okay, even when the rainbow is formed, we have the Vibgyor colors, okay, 7 colors: violet, indigo, blue, green, orange, red, yellow, okay, whatever the colors are. But when they are formed, okay, there is also friction in light and water. Okay, so the opposition is friction. The opposition of force is friction. So after the shade, we decide there is a lot of friction in these 3 things. Okay, in these 3 things there is a lot of friction. In these 3 things there is a lot of force. So if the force is good, these 3 things are good in your life. If the friction is more, these 3 things are good in your life. So these 3 things come from optimism. These 3 things, okay, these 3 things decide your optimism. These 3 things decide your pessimism. Okay. Is the soul optimistic? Is the soul pessimistic? If the soul is optimistic, it loves life. If the soul is pessimistic, it doesn't love life. It just wants to run away from here. Okay. So it is not happy on this earth. Why? Because first, it is directionless. Second, it is not positioned in a good manner. Third, the character of which it is made is not right for the environment. Okay. So our soul is pessimistic only when these 3 characteristics are not right. The direction of the soul, the position of the soul, and the character of the soul. But a soul is very much optimistic when the rotation is right. Okay, it is rotating in a right direction. Secondly, the power is ample. If you have ample amount of power, you are going to love. Okay, when the power is less, it's like when the power is less, you need to push harder in life. If the power is less, you need to push harder in life, and that is what creates trouble. Okay, but if the power is more, life becomes easy. And third thing is charge. Charge is very much important. If you are in a positive charged body with a positive charged soul, you will love the life. If you are in a negative charged body with a negative charged soul, you will love your life. But if it is reverse, then there is a problem. Like if you are a feminine, if you are having a feminine charge in a masculine body, you become a masculine, you become a feminine male. Okay, if the reverse, you become a masculine woman. Okay, and if the charge is not placed right, okay, there is a lack of optimism. But if the charge is placed right, there is a lot of optimism. So you will love the life. Okay, so these three things are necessary to make you optimistic in life. These three things are what is making you pessimistic in life. So over here you are on intensity. How is intensity measured? Intensity is measured on even and odd ascendant, and with even and odd ascendant, the degree of ascendance. Okay. So what is the degree? Why degree of ascendant? Because see, wherever ascendant is placed, okay, let's see this chakra, and this chakra is moving. Okay, this chakra is moving, and ascendant is rising up from the horizon. Okay, this is the rising sign from where you are, the rising sign of the east. Okay, so where the first sign is, we consider the first house. So if it is, see, it is 0 degree, then it is 15 degree, and this is 30 degree. Consider it like this. Okay. Now, if you push a wheel from 15 degree like this down, and if you push a wheel from 30 degree like this down, okay, this 30 degree, when you push it from 30 degree like this down, you will have to give more force. Okay, so when you give more force like this downwards, okay, the wheel is going to move faster. Getting my point? If you give less force over here, the wheel is going to move slower. Getting my point? So if you push from a higher altitude downwards like this, the wheel, okay, so the wheel is going to move faster. If you push it from this downwards, okay, from 15 degree downwards, the wheel is going to go slower if you apply the same amount of force. So that is why. And what is the even and odd signs? Okay, see, odd signs consist of water, and water makes it heavy. Water makes the wheel heavy, because water is emotions. When you get into emotions, you are heavy. See, this is the fact. If you are not emotionally happy, you are going to live short. If you are emotionally happy, you are going to live longer. Okay, it is the emotional imbalance that causes problems with your hormones. That is the problems of your hormones which is going to stop your automated healing process. Okay, your psychoneuroimmunity, and because of your because when you lose your psychoneuroimmunity, okay, you lose a lot of strength of your body. Your body directly moves towards backwards on this side, pessimism. It should move on the optimism side, and that is why it is going to progress in life. You are going to sustain. If it moves backwards, you are dying. Okay. So water signs are heavy. Water signs are odd signs, and they are heavy. If you have a water sign as ascendant, okay, you are heavy. And when you are heavy, and you push from upwards, okay, if you are heavy and you push from upwards, so even though you give a lot of force over here, okay, because of that heaviness, the force is going to go waste, because there is heaviness, there is water over here. Okay, that is why it is still going to give you low intensity, because you need to push harder. Okay, from here. If there is water over here, see, consider like this. If you are a water sign, there is water filled over here. So if water is filled over here and then you push it down, it is going to feel heavy, because it is the burden of emotions. Okay. Similarly, if it is 0 to 15 as a water sign, okay, over here, then you have to give less force. Getting my point? But if it is even sign, okay, if it is even sign, there is fire. Okay, fire is not heavy. Okay, fire is not heavy. Fire is opposite. It gives you more force. It's burning. It is reducing the mass. It is not increasing the mass. It is burning. It is reducing the mass. Okay. So what is happening when you push down? Okay, from 15 to 30, the speed is faster. When you push down from 15 to 0 to 15, the speed is slower. Okay. So everything soul is the movement of this wheel. This wheel is moving, and as this wheel is moving, the soul is progressing. Okay, the wheel is moving and the soul is progressing. The wheel is moving and the soul is progressing. Now you will ask that why are we dying? What is the reason of death? If the wheel is moving forward, why do we die? Because we die because of the Rahu and Ketu, which are the two nodes. Now what does Rahu and Ketu do? Okay, see, the wheel is moving like this, it is going ahead. What does Rahu do? Rahu come over here and pushes the wheel opposite side. So now wheel is going somewhere else, behind. Okay. Now again, from behind, the Ketu pushes the wheel forward. Okay, so wheel is again starts going forward. So what does this Rahu and Ketu do? They, in timely interval, is changing the direction of wheel. Okay, so as wheel goes forward, Rahu comes and pushes the wheel on the opposite side. Okay, so now the wheel goes backwards. Then Ketu comes and pushes the wheel forward. Okay, so now again the wheel is going forward. But you die only when the wheel is going backwards. That is why Rahu is the reason of death. Ketu is not the reason of death. It is the reason of life. So when the wheel is going forward, you are sustaining. When the wheel is going forward, you are sustaining. When the wheel is going backwards, you are dying. Because it is the wheel of time, the wheel of soul. It is given in the Konark Sun Temple. Okay. The similar wheel is there in Konark Sun Temple. Why do you think that Sun Temple people are making wheels? Do you think the sun is the wheel? No. Okay. But sun is giving time like a wheel. So time is wheel. Okay, that is why we have clock like wheel. Getting my point? We can still classify these things more deeper, but right now we are not going into so deep, because we can still find the in between spokes of the wheel, which are the few characteristics which are inside the wheel. But we'll talk about it later when we are talking about vasus of the soul. Okay. So over here, I think you guys understood what is the intensity and why the intensity is given like this. Okay. It is just because the water over here in the ascendant is heavy, that is why it is reverse. Over here the fire in the ascendant is not heavy, that is why it is direct. Okay. That is why if we are having even ascendant from 15 to 30 or odd ascendant from 0 to 15, your intensity is high. And if the even ascendant is there from 0 to 15 and odd ascendant is there from 15 to 30, your intensity is low. Okay. And this intensity is going to tell you how we are going to progress in the life. Okay, what kind of capacity is there? What is your? Okay, so this was about intensity. Okay, I hope everyone wrote this. Who all are taking notes? Who are not taking notes? I think they have a very good memory. So next, let's talk about shade. See, shade is exactly opposite to its intensity. See, this intensity is governed by force, but the shade is governed by friction. Okay, it is the friction that is creating the shade. What is opposite? It is creating the shade. Okay, have you seen the photograph? Okay, when you take a photograph of a fast-moving object, you will see different shades. Okay. Like take for example a car, a fan, anything which is going faster, and if you click a photo, the light is going to spread like this. Okay, if the car is like this, okay, the light is going to spread like this. And the light which is spread like this, okay, in lines, it is having different colors. It is not exactly the same color that is of the car. That color are mixed colors of the car, the wheel, the rims, the doors, everything. Everything is mixed over here. So this is having the mixed colors. Why? Because this is the friction that is produced from the photographic frame. Okay, when a fast moving object is captured with a friction of seconds, in friction if it is captured, the color, the shade seems to pause. So this is the paused shade. Actually there is not no shade over here when you see it from the naked eye, because eye doesn't move as faster. You can click a photo from your eye like this. Okay, the eye does not work too much of like this, because why does the eye does not work? Because see, eye is connected to the brain. It is the brain's processing speed that the eye can photograph something. See, eye is like a camera, your eye. So what happens? Your eye can photograph a thing, okay, only when the mind is working in that speed. But there is a restriction in the human mind. Okay, we are not aliens, we are not superhumans. Okay, so we cannot whenever we see, we cannot see all the fast moving objects like this. Everything goes like this. So there is a capacity of mind. But let's forget the capacity of mind and let's see the soul as the almighty soul. So in that, we have to forget the capacity of the mind. What we have to see is the original shade. In order to see the original shade, this is how shade is created from friction. Because we need to pause. You can't see the shade if you can't pause. Okay, if something is going too fast in front of your eyes, you can't see the exact color. In order to see the exact color, you need to apply friction. Okay, you need to apply friction to that object, so that the object seems steady, and when the object seems steady, you can see the color of the shade. Getting my point? This was bit complex, but okay, got it. Not too hard to digest. So the color is actually represented by friction. How much amount of friction is carried in order to see the color. Now this is again indicated by the sun. Why? Because sun is something which gives us white light. It is the sun which gives us white light, and it is the white light which creates all the spectrum, all the colors. Okay, that is why this is again governed by the sun. Getting my point? So the next thing over here of how to recognize your shade, it is with the help of friction. And this friction is very easy to analyze. Okay. For that we are just understanding the digbals. Okay, what is the digbals? Digbals shows the direction. Okay. The directional strength is called digbal. Okay, we'll make a chart over here just to understand digbal. Okay. Now see. This side, the south. This is south, this is north. Okay. So this side, the south, is governed by Saturn and Rahu. Okay. So the color over here are black and maroon. Maroon is the mixture of dark red and slight of bluish green. Okay, so this is black and maroon. So the color over here is black and maroon at the southmost. Okay, if the friction, see, this friction can be higher on any of the sides, any of the four sides. So when the wheel is moving, you have to see what is the friction point of the wheel. The trick over here is the wheel is not exactly round. The wheel is elliptical, a bit elliptical. So what happens, on any two sides the friction is more, and at any two sides the friction is less. So when the wheel is moving, on what side that a bit flat surface is coming, on that side the wheel is going to stop for a while. Okay, or the friction comes faster. So we just understand. So in the south it is black and maroon. Okay, if the friction is more in the south, your soul has the shade of black or maroon. Okay, if it is more on the north, okay, if it is more on the north, it is blue or green. Okay, if it is more in the east, it is red and white. Okay, and if it is more on west, it is blue and violet. Okay, so these are the 4 directional strength or big balls. In order to understand this big balls, we'll make another video of big balls, but consider this big balls inside your soul. Okay, so when this big ball, like how to know in which direction it is going, you have to see your chart and you have to see where most of the planets are placed. If most of the planets are placed in this part, okay, then the color of your soul is going to be reddish white. If it is placed over here, then the color of the soul is going to be bluish violet. If it is placed over here, it is going to be bluish green. And if it is going to place over here, it is going to be blackish maroon. Okay, this is not going to be blue, this is going to be yellowish green. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Yellowish green, blackish maroon, reddish white, bluish violet. Okay, these are the 4 main colors, and from this you have to select the color of the shade of your soul. From the shade of your soul, it is explained that what kind of features you will be having more in your life. Okay, if it is over here, you are more. See, this is again related to dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Okay, so over here there is dharma. Over here there is artha. Over here there is kama. Over here there is moksha. Okay, so depending on the color of your soul, where is your soul heading? Okay, is it more pulled? It is more pulled towards righteousness, then it is on the dharma side. Okay, if it is more pulled towards rationality of life, then it is more on the artha side. If it is more pulled towards actions, okay, or the sustenance of life, then it is on the kama side. If it is more pulled towards the happiness and enjoyment of life, then it is the moksha side. Okay, so the 4 main things of life is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Okay, righteousness, rationality, reality, and bliss. Okay, four main things: righteousness, rationality, reality, bliss. Okay, these are the 4 main things. And wherever the soul is placed, it is going to give a different shade. And through the shade, you can identify what actually the person is into, and what is the primary need of the soul. Is the need of the soul or the character of the soul is to do dharma? If it is the yellowish green, the person is always going to be righteous in the life, no matter of the artha, kama, and moksha. Even if he is not happy, he is going to be righteous. Even if it is not rational, he is going to be righteous. Even if he is not going to be in the reality, he is always going to be righteous, because dharma is more. Okay. If it is on the artha side, the person is going to be rational and logical. Even if he is not right, he is going to be rational. Even if he is not happy or blissful, he is going to be rational. Okay. Even if he is not into reality, he is still going to be rational. Okay. Similarly, if it is more in the kama side, he is always going to be in the reality. Even if he is not righteous, even if he is not rational, even if he is not blissful, he is still going to be in reality. Okay. And in talking about moksha, a person always wants to be in blissful environment, happiness. Okay. So even if he is not righteous, even if he is not in even if he is not rational, even if he is not in rightful actions, or even if he is not in reality, he would still be in happiness or bliss. Getting my point? So these are the four main shades of the soul which decides what is the internal characteristics of the soul. Okay. So this was the second thing about the sun, which is the shade. The first thing was intensity, what we understood from ascendant and degrees. The second thing was shade, which we understood from the digballs, the directional strength of the force, soul. Okay. So I think everyone got this. Okay. So we also covered the second thing of our soul, that is intensity and shade. Okay. Now comes Jupiter and Saturn, that is position and power, which are opposite to each other. Okay, I think everybody also knows this, so we'll erase this. When we write all the characteristics, I will write everything again, like a short note. Okay. Now talking about position and power. See, why is Jupiter and Venus placed on different horizons? See, over here, Jupiter, which is position, is placed on sunset, and Venus, which is power, is placed on sunrise. See, this is reversed. Okay, at sunrise you need more Jupiter. In sunset, you need more Venus. Then why it is reversed? Am I mad? Or am I just writing foolish things on the board and doing time pass? No. There is always a bloody reason. The reason is, at the time of sunrise, you have to radiate Venus so that you can gain more Jupiter. At this time of sunset, you have to radiate Jupiter so that you get more Venus. Okay. So this is placed because of the radiation. Okay, we have to radiate Jupiter at sunset. Okay, we have to radiate Venus at sunrise. Okay, and when you radiate Jupiter at sunset, okay, you get Venus. And you get this Venus for night time. Similarly, when you radiate Venus on the sunrise, you get this Jupiter for the daytime. Getting the point? So these are the positions of radiation. When there is sunset, you radiate your Jupiter, you radiate the energy of your Manipura chakra. And when you radiate the energy of your Manipura chakra, you get Venus, that is your throat chakra. When you get your throat chakra or Vishuddha chakra, now what is happening is Vishuddha chakra is the automated cleaner of the body. So when you are sleeping in your subconscious mind, the Vishuddha chakra is more active. And when your Vishuddha chakra is more active, your body is automatically cleaning itself in the subconscious mind, through the subconscious mind. So what is happening at the time of sleep, when you are sleeping, okay, you need more of the Venusian energy. But when you are working, you need more of the Jupiterian energy. Okay, that is why it is said that have a heavy breakfast. If you have a heavy breakfast, you are going to increase your Jupiter in daytime. As soon as you wake up, you are going to increase your Jupiter. But it is also said that do fasting at night. Why? Because you don't have to keep your stomach heavy. You don't have to keep Manipura chakra heavy after sunset. You have to increase your throat chakra, because if the throat chakra is heavy, okay, over here, the thyroid is good. Okay, it is more powerful. So it is going to increase your the lymphatic system. It is going to auto cleanse your body. So what you need to do is after sunset you have to increase Venus. At sunrise you have to increase Jupiter. Jupiter is nothing else but solar plexus energy. Venus is nothing else but throat chakra energy. Okay. So after sunset, You have to radiate your solar plexus or Manipura chakra, so in return you get your throat chakra energy, and it will help you to sustain in the night time, and that sustenance is going to cleanse you. Okay, it is going to clean your body while you are sleeping. Similarly, when sunrise is taking place, radiate your Venus. When you radiate your Venus, you are going to get Jupiterian energy. When you get the Jupiterian energy, you get the energy to work and be active on the daytime. Okay, so that is why see the position of the soul is very much important, and Venus is giving the power to the soul. Okay, so over here at sunrise, we are attaining power to work in the daytime. Over here in the sunset, we are positioning ourselves right so that we can be and clean ourselves in a right manner at the night time. So what is important at sunset is the position. What is important at sunrise is the power. You have to gain power at the sunrise, but you have to be at the right position at the sunset. Okay. See, these are all things which need a lot of attention. Okay. So that is why it is hard to live a spiritual life, because these things require attention. Every day you need to be attentive that okay, in every morning and every sunrise I have to radiate my throat chakra energy and pull solar plexus energy. And every sunset I need to make sure that I am radiating my Jupiterian solar Manipura chakra energy and attaining Venus chakra, that is throat chakra energy. Okay, so this thing needs discipline. Okay, these two things, these two functions need discipline. And that is why these are gurus. Because guru teach you discipline. One is Dev Guru, another is Rakshas Guru, Asur Guru. Okay. So this is the Dev Guru, Brihaspati. This is the Asuracharya, Shukracharya. Why? Because both are teaching you something. You need to be disciplined on sunrise and sunset. If you be disciplined on sunrise and sunset and follow both these gurus, you don't have to just follow this guru. You have to also follow this guru. You don't have to just follow this guru. You have to also follow this guru. Both are gurus. You have to follow both of them. At sunset you have to follow Jupiter. At sunrise you have to follow Venus. At sunset you have to follow Jupiter. At sunrise you have to follow Venus. If you follow Venus at sunrise, okay, then you are attaining Jupiter. If you follow Jupiter at sunset, you are attaining Venus. Okay. Read the Shukranidhi. Sometimes you would understand that there are lot of things which are supposed to be done in a reverse manner. Okay. Because just like Vishnu is someone who is praising Shiva, and Shiva is someone who is praising Vishnu. So actually, in the actual sense, Shiva is following the rules of Vishnu and Vishnu is following the rules of Shiva. Okay, so it is reverse. Getting my point? So there are lots of things in Vedic system which are reverse. Who follows all the rules of Shiva? That is Vishnu. Ram followed the rules of Shiva. Krishna followed the rules of Shiva. Who follows the rules of Vishnu? That is Shiva. Okay. So many things are reversed. And in this, at sunset you have to follow the rules of Jupiter. At sunrise you have to follow the rules of Venus. Okay. And you have to follow the discipline of both these gurus side by side. It is not that if you focus on this Jupiter, things will be good. If you focus on Venus, things will be good. Okay, it is all relative, and both of the things need to be checked up. And this is how you will attain right position and right power. Getting my point? So you again have to check the position of your Jupiter and Venus in order to see where your soul is positioned in the body and from where you are getting power. Where your soul is positioned and where you are getting power. And this is again relative. Okay, this both these things are relative. Both these things are relative. You have to see the relative position of Jupiter and Venus from the Karak Tithi. Okay, what is Karak Tithi? See, for example, sun is over here, okay, and moon is over here. Then you are over here, okay. So you have to take degrees of sun and moon, okay. Suppose this is 60 degree, then you have to cut it in half. So wherever this 30 degree is going, you have to see. This is the rightful position of the Jupiter. Your Jupiter is placed over here. Now whatever house this is, okay, whatever house this is, whether this point P comes in the first house, then your Jupiter is placed in the first house, okay, on your head. If it comes to your 12th house, then the Jupiter is placed on your 12th house, that is on your feet, okay. And the placement of Jupiter is the position of your soul. But this placement of Jupiter is to be seen, okay, this point P, and this point P is seen in the middle point of the sun and moon, okay. You take the degrees of the sun and moon, then divide it by half and see where the point is coming, okay, on which zodiac this point is coming, on which nakshatra this point is coming, okay. And when you see this point, wherever it is coming, you have to put this point as Jupiterian point. At this point, whenever the sun and moon comes at this point, you have to praise Brihaspati, you have to praise Jupiter, you have to praise Guru. Okay, because it is the rightful position of Jupiter, it is the rightful position of Brihaspati, it is the rightful position of Guru for your own chart. If you want a very good Manipura Chakra energy, if you want a very good solar plexus energy, it is at this point when you have to worship Brihaspati in your life. Okay. Similarly, the exact opposite point to this is point Q, and this point Q is the position of Venus, and this Venus is giving power. So if you want high power in your life, okay, more power to sustain work and like push, okay, you need more power and strength inside you, okay, then when the sun and moon reaches on this point, you have to worship Venus Shukra. Om Dram Dram Drim Sak Shukraya Namah. Om Dram Dram Drim Sak Shukraya Namah. Okay, do this 21 times and 4 times of 21 times, or do this 32 times, okay, and okay, just do this 32 times if you are lazy. If you are not lazy, do it 21 times and face all the 4 directions when you do it. First you do 21 times over in the east direction, then 21 times on north, 21 times on west, then 21 times on south. That is how you do the Venusian mantra, all the 4 sides. You need the energy of all the 4 sides, because Venus is Sanjeevani. You get Sanjeevani because you get the strength of all the 4 directions. For that, you need to face all the 4 sides, do Shukra mantra. Over here, this is Jupiter. It is just going in the one direction. Whatever direction you are sitting, okay, just look upward and do the mantra of Jupiter. Whenever you are doing Brihaspati mantra, look upwards, not look forward, look upwards and then do the mantra of Jupiter. Whatever the mantra you are doing, if you are doing the simple mantra, if you are not doing the tantric mantra, if you are doing simple mantra, Om Guru Namaha, okay, look upwards. Jupiter is sky element. Sky element is always going upward. Okay, so it is very important. So for position and power, we have to see Jupiter and Venus placement and where it is placed and how to get this placement. I explained you over here. Take the degrees of sun and moon, make it angle, then cut that angle in half. Okay, the point exactly between the sun and moon will be the Jupiter, and the point exactly below the Jupiter is Venus. Okay, so when the sun transits on that point and the moon transits on that point, you have to worship Jupiter and increase the energy of your Manipura Chakra. When the sun and moon transits over here, okay, on the point of Q, then you have to worship Venus. Suppose this point P, okay, this point P comes on, let's say the point P comes on Punarvasu Nakshatra. Okay, see over here, suppose this point P is Punarvasu. Okay, and exactly below the Punarvasu Nakshatra is, let's say, Purvashada. Okay, see this point Q is Purvashada. Okay, so when the sun and moon comes at the Punarvasu Nakshatra, you have to worship Jupiter. When the sun and moon comes at the Purvashada Nakshatra, you have to worship Venus. But you have to worship Venus at the sunrise. You have to worship Jupiter at the sunset. You have to do it reverse. Because when you are chanting the name of Jupiter, you are giving out the Jupiterian energy. When you are chanting the name of Venus, you are giving out the Venusian energy. So over here, chant Venus on the sunrise when the sun and moon reaches the Purvashada Nakshatra. When the sun and moon reaches the Punarvasu Nakshatra, you have to chant Guru Mantra at the sunset. Getting my point? So this is about position and power of the soul. So these are the 8 spokes of soul. 8 spokes. Okay. I hope everyone got this. Okay. So these are the 8 spokes of the soul, the 8 characteristics of the soul. And we understood how the soul is being pessimistic and optimistic. Going in the front direction like this, it is optimistic. If the wheel is going like this, it is pessimistic. And what is Rahu and Ketu doing? Okay, Rahu and Ketu is doing like this. Okay, the wheel is moving forward. Rahu comes over here. And because of this Rahu, this wheel is going backwards. Then again Ketu comes over here. And because of this Ketu, the wheel is again going forward. Okay, then again somewhere Rahu is coming. Okay, and this Rahu is again making the wheel go backwards. Okay. Now it is at this position that death will come. It is at this position that death will come. When the Rahu is pushing the wheel backwards. Okay, when the Rahu pushes the wheel backwards, and when you can't sustain that force, when you can't sustain the wheel to go backwards again, you can't sustain that change. When your body cannot adapt to change, the change that Rahu is trying to give you, you die. Because now the current is not flowing backwards. When the current is trying to force itself backwards, the body is not that capable to handle that change in the current. Okay, so this is when you die. So when the Rahu comes in the aspect, that is when you die. You cannot die if Rahu is not aspecting. Okay, so your death comes only when this Rahu is changing the direction of your soul to forward, to backwards. Okay, and if you can sustain this force, okay, if you can sustain this force, okay, and if you sustain this force from here to here, okay, then you will again sustain from here, then again you will sustain from here. So this part is called Ghat. Near death experiences. You will get near death experiences on this path. And this Ghat is going to come once every 12 years. Once every 12 years there is Ghat, because Rahu is changing your direction. Every 12 years you are going to change your direction. The soul is going to reverse its direction. That is why you are getting a Ghat. If you sustain this Ghat, if you sustain that 1 year, you are again going to live 12 years more. So whenever you cross this Ghat region, you again sustain for how many years? 12 years. Like 6 years over here and 6 years over here. So total you will sustain 12 more years if you sustain one Ghat. So every 12 years, Yamraj is coming towards you. Yam is coming. If you sustain Yam, you are again going to live 12 years. If you sustain Yam, you are again going to live 12 years. So every 12 years this Ghat is coming. But just because our soul is having a very high intensity, okay, you can sustain the Ghat. Either you need to have very high intensity or you need to have the correct shade. If both of them are there, okay, then it is easier for you to sustain. Okay. So this was the concept of the soul and how life and death are taking place. Now what we have to study over here in Pancham, and why I did all this Katha, is because we have to understand the in-between part. Okay, what we understand is the movement of wheel from this to this. Okay, and this again will repeat. Okay, so this is the movement of wheel from this direction to this direction. So what we have to understand in life, in Pancham, is how to live this region. how to live this region. We have to understand from Pancha. So what we just understood, these 8 parts of the soul, we understood this 8 part of the soul so that we can understand these 5 elements, because this 8 part of the soul is connected with 5 elements. Okay, see this 8 part of the soul, let's get the basic over here right now, so that next time when I start, I will directly start from the Tithi and Var. Okay, see this 8 part of the soul is again connected to the 5 elements. Okay. So this is the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8. So this part, let's use another pen. This part is Dharma. Okay, this part is Dharma, Moksha. Okay, this part is Kama. This is Artha. Okay. So it is important. Over here, the elements are sky and earth. Over here, the elements are air. Over here, the element is just air. Okay. Over here, it is water. Over here, that is fire. Getting my point? Sky and earth are together at Dharma. Moksha has water in it. Kam has air in it. Earth is fire. So Dharma, Earth, Kam, Moksha. Getting my point? These are the 4 basics. In this 4 basic, there are 5 elements, and these 5 elements are arranged in the 8 characteristics of the soul. Okay, so now in order to understand these 8 characteristics of soul, we understood the soul itself. But now, if we have to understand the progression of this soul, if we want to understand the progression of this wheel, how this wheel is moving, okay, and how this wheel is moving forward and wheel is moving backward. For that, we need to understand these elements. And in order to understand these elements, there are 5 elements that are Pancha, the 5 limbs of time. Which is time? It's 5 limbs. The 5 limbs, over here there are 2 limbs. Otherwise, it's 3rd, 4th, 5th. Okay, 5 limbs of time. Pancha, the 5 elements divided in the 8 aspects of the soul. Getting my point? And these are the 8 aspects of soul. The force, that is the intensity of soul, the charge of the soul, the power of the soul, the rotation of the soul, the friction of the soul, the direction of the soul, the position of the soul, the character of the soul. These are the 8 vasus. This is what the soul, how to understand a soul. You understand the soul by this. When you understand this soul, then you put these divisions into Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And 5 elements. How are 5 elements handling these 8 characteristics of the soul? Because these 8 characteristics of the soul is the functioning of the soul. But what are the 5 elements? These are the food of the soul. So the 5 elements are the food. And what happens when you eat food? You get energy. Now, what kind of energy is generated inside you? Is it the light energy? It is the dark energy? Okay. Is it a calm energy? It is the energy of chaos. Everything depends on the elements. So this is the energy. How that energy is made is again dependent on elements. Getting my point? So now we are going to study this elements. And on the first part we understand days, how the days are made. So what we understood on the first part was fire. We understood fire element of days, how days are coming into existence. From days we again got horas. Okay, so we understood fire element. Now we are going to understand water element next time. Okay. So thank you very much. I hope everyone understood the 8 characteristics of the soul, which are divided into 5 elements inside the body. See, there are many profound things which are I guess you won't find at different places, because some things are derived from symbolism, some things are derived from Vedic literature, and some things are derived from self-realization. But most of the things are derived from symbolism, because symbolism play a large role. Even when the Sanskrit was not developed, symbolism was developed. Okay, and understanding symbolism is an art. You need detailing to understand symbolism. So understand the symbolism over here. This is the wheel of time. This is also the characteristic wheel of the soul. Okay. Now you can still add spokes over here to understand deeper characteristics of soul. You add few more spokes over here, like this. You can add a spoke over here, 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 add a spoke over here. So what happens? How many spokes you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 2s are 16. The 16 different characteristics of the soul is called 16 gunas. From this 16 gunas, 8 gunas are more important, which I taught you. For next 8 gunas, where it goes into the advanced learning of soul, and I am not going to teach advanced learning of soul right now over here. You need to join Vedic Vedanta. We are going to learn cosmology as soon as possible. So if you want to understand the 16 gunas of the soul, you again have to see the 8 different parts which are hidden under the 8 parts of the soul. Okay, so these were the main 8 parts, 8 gunas. We still have different 8 gunas. The next 8 gunas are inside those 8 gunas, the minor 8 gunas. These are the major 8 gunas. Inside this, there are also minor 8 gunas. And from this 16 guna soul is formed. You have solar bones. Okay, you know that? You must have heard solar bones. But what are the bloody solar bones? Okay, you must have the ability to have the right direction in life. You must have the ability to be positioned rightly in life. You must have ability of the right character in life. The right force should guide you. You should have the right amount of charge inside you. You should have ample power when you have to utilize the power, when you don't have to utilize the power. You should be in the right rotation. You don't have to go and wander around. Okay, and there should be a rightful shade in your life. You should know when you have to stop. The friction. Okay, so these are the main 8 gunas. After this, we can understand another 8 gunas, but right now we are just focusing on the 8 gunas. Okay, for the next 16 gunas, please join Vedic Vedanta. We are learning cosmology, astrology, and Vedic science over here. So anyone who wants to join, please check out www.vedicvedanta.com. And thank you very much to join me. In the next time, we are going to learn some basics about Tithi, and we are going to move forward in Panchang. And I guess I will cover the Tithi and the cycle of the basic of Panchang in the next video. Okay, thank you very much to join the transmigration and the development of the soul in the 8 vasuls. Okay, thank you. Keep joining.